Hey everybody, Jeff Schneider here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to improvise over Just the Two of Us by Bill Withers. It's in F minor, and we're going to start simple, just with the F minor pentatonic scale. That's 5 notes: 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, or F, A flat, B flat, C, E flat. Very simple to start, but let's hear how that sounds using the 1 scale over the entire chord progression. Here we go. Now, even if you're already familiar with that 5-note scale, I do encourage you to stick with it for a while and see if you can come up with some new and interesting ways to play with those 5 notes and improvise some creative ideas. But once you are comfortable with the pentatonic scale, the next step is to include an E natural. The E natural is a non-diatonic note, meaning it's a note that doesn't exist within the key of F minor. Usually we would have an E flat, right? But now we're going to use E natural. It's called a non-diatonic note. The E natural works really well on the C7 chord. It's the third of C7. And C7, if you're familiar with the chord progression, you know that C7 comes up quite a bit. Now, before I get into how to use this E natural in a musical way, I do want to let you know that I'm going to be hosting a live online masterclass that's completely free. It's called Big Wins for Better Improv, and it's on Wednesday this week. That's July 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. So would love for you guys to make it if you can. If you want to attend, make sure to register in the link up top or in the description below. Completely free, and we're going to talk about broad principles for improvising well and how to get the biggest or the most bang for your buck out of some really simple ideas that can take your playing quite far. So let's get back to the E natural now. We're going to use this E natural by playing off the F natural. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a simple line using that F minor pentatonic scale, something like this. And all we're going to do is change that F to an E. That line is going to sound really cool over C7. So if we want it to work on F minor, we use an F. If we want it to work on C7, we use an E. Let's try another example. That's using the F minor pentatonic scale. Now we're going to turn that E flat into an E. Okay, here's what it sounds like on C7. Pretty cool. So we're either turning the F into an E or an E flat into an E. Let's do one other example. F becomes E. Here's what it sounds like in context. I'm going to use this technique. It's just going to be F minor pentatonic and then also incorporating that E natural to adjust my phrases to fit that C7 chord. Take a listen. By the way, if you guys want to download the backing track, you can get it for free at the link up here and in the description. There's also a written solo that I've included with audio and sheet music transposed for every instrument. It's part of a bonus pack that I released with my course, Making the Changes, which I know some of you have taken and some of you have heard about it. The bonus pack is called Solos on Standards. Anyway, I do want to get back to how to improvise over Just the Two of Us in a slightly more advanced way. So we've talked about the F minor pentatonic scale. We've talked about how to incorporate that E natural. Now let's talk about how to execute that E flat minor 7 to A flat 7 chord change. It's the 2-5-1 to D flat major 7 right here. So I want to focus on another non-diatonic note, and that's the G flat that pops up in that chord change. G flat is the third of E flat minor 7. And to start incorporating that G flat, we're going to actually play a line in F minor and then use that same line on an E flat minor chord. So we're going to transpose it. So on F minor, let's try something like this. All right, that's just 5, 4, 3, 1. If we were to move that to E flat minor, the scales that we're thinking about here are your regular F Dorian scale and your regular E flat Dorian scale, or your F minor 7 scale or E flat minor 7 scale. So that's F Dorian, that's E flat Dorian. Anyway, here's another example. Let's just do an arpeggio. And another one, that's on E flat minor. Let's go up the arpeggio. And then on E flat minor. And one more example, just going down the scale and down the scale on E flat minor. Now, we're going to ignore A flat 7 because when we focus on the E flat minor, the E flat minor actually covers the A flat 7. Sometimes people will ignore the 5 chord and just play the 2 chord. Sometimes people will ignore the 2 chord and just play the 5 chord because there are a lot of shared notes in there. And I'm trying to give you guys a strategy here that's not going to overwhelm your thought process. We're trying to keep it simple. We're just using F minor pentatonic and using that F minor to E flat minor transposition to execute that particular chord change when we do the 2-5 to the D flat major 7 to the flat 6 chord. This technique sounds really cool over the chorus, so I'm going to show you how it's done there. Let's take a listen. So we've talked about 3 different strategies for how to improvise over this chord progression, but the most important thing is that you remember to let your ear be in charge. You don't want to be thinking too much about theory when it comes to actually performing or playing in a jam session or something. Let your ear drive the ship. All right, use these theoretical practice techniques in the practice room. Teach your ears some new sounds. You can compose some lines. It doesn't have to be all made up on the spot. You want to teach your ears how to make this work. So use the techniques that I've provided here to help your ear along. And then once you feel like you might have some of this material internalized, you can then just try to hear some of this stuff naturally and see how it comes up organically. That can take some time, but you will get there. Just remember to be patient. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to register for the free masterclass coming up this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.